So, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna be changing when the new DLC comes out. So, I gotta wonder. I mean, because Kaiserreich just came out with a big upgrade. I just gotta wonder if they're gonna need to do another big upgrade to make it compatible. I'd wager so I'm not really gonna get too committed to whatever choice I make here. Sign the peace with honor. When we want an airplane, we get an airplane. When we want an artillery piece, we get an artillery piece. Whatever we ask for, we get from Japan. Deng Xiaolin. Like, this is so much cool stuff. Look, it's a lady. It's a lady communist that's gonna fight stuff. Dun, 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 dun. There's just a lot of attention paid to this game, to this mod. It's really an exemplar of just an excellent... It's everything I've seen of it. I haven't played it yet, but it's an excellent example of what a good mod is. Denouncing monarchists. Da da. What if Germany won World War I? These syndicalists look so badass with their revolution stuff. My props to Kaiserreich for doing so much unique art. That's really super cool. Taking a long time to load this. The art really gives it like almost kind of like a modern feel, even though it's taking place in the 1930s. All right, here we go. They're calling this an alpha. I don't know what you would call an alpha or a beta in a mod when it's like so very, very polished. What if Germany had won World War One? All right. Well, I could go through and read like all these. Like these are, I mean, these are actually oddly. I mean, these are very distinct from the art pieces, you know? It's kind of weird to me. It's like, that's a little jarring. It's like, look at the background. Like, those are cool drawings. And then these are portraits. Like, these are actual pictures of people. Alright, so let's just, let's not waste so much time reading all this time around. Let's just take a look at the map, which I'm sure everyone has seen before. And I think like every country has a unique focus tree, just about. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's cool to look at all this. Italian Republic exists. Man, it'd be cool to play as the Pope. That's a good one. It's technically paternal autocrats. Alright, so I think Social Democrats, Conservatives. Yeah, it's cool. Cool stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and let's go back to let's read about Germany here. I'm gonna play as Germany. Authoritarian Democrat, really? What is it defined as an authoritarian democrat? Alright, anyway. In 1919, after 5 years of war, the German army finally overran the Entente defenses in France. In 1921, Britain's surrender followed. The Weltkrieg has made Germany an uncontested world power. Capitalization there is a little suspect to me, but it's already looking up from the other one. Yet things have been going downhill for her since the 1930s. Her excessive world economy has dampened the nation's industrial output while other nations' manufacturing powers recovers. And now nationalism grows in Germany's eastern client states, who are starting to drift away from the Reich. In 1936, Germany stands at a crossroads, and already we can see cracks in her mighty empire as her ancestral enemies are regaining their former strength. Alright. Fire it up. Alright. No, I actually had this downloaded before. When I was looking at mods, seeing if there was a World War I mod. I saw it, and it's like, I saw the one that I just did, and then like, I'll also do Kaiserreich 2. This is just a quick look at it. I'm not gonna start a full playthrough of anything Kaiserreich until the new DLC comes out, because they're inevitably going to have to change some things around. Alright, for months our teams worked from every corner of the world to bring this mod to you. We hope you will enjoy playing it as much as we did making it. You should also be aware that the mod is designed with the assumption that the player will always annex all possible states in peace treaties, so you should make sure to do that. I'm guessing because, like, tons of puppets would just crash the game. Yeah, exactly. It just came out with 0.8, but the new DLC, the new patch is going to be coming out, I'd wager, January, maybe February, March at latest. And this is it's gonna change up naval combat entirely. But I mean, they're going to patch the game. So it's going to change up how the base game works, so they're going to need to change stuff. We'd also like to remind you that this is still alpha, so expect bugs, crashes, and various headaches. When you encounter any of these, please report them to our GitHub bug tracker. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Groovy. New events. This is the president of the International News Tribune. Huh. Kind of an interesting choice of the middle for that, because this is pretty. That's like 1952. That Truman got elected. Kaiserreich is a mod deeply entrenched in lore and storytelling conveyed through events, national focuses, and other means. However, as the player, you might not even realize this because most of the happenings in foreign countries are unknown to your eyes. Therefore, we have created a system of news events that will tell you about major events that happened recently in other countries. They contain tidbits of lore to help you understand the meaning and reasons for the events of the world, and they are also pretty and stuff. Cool. However, you may be a game tester and have a serious addiction, with this being your 1000th game this week, or just a player who doesn't want pop-ups in your face all the time. So you also have the option to turn this feature off entirely, or allow only the important news events to fire. It's your choice. Let's see everything. Welcome to our new home. Thank you for joining us in our new home. We are sorry about the trouble, but hopefully 0.8 more than makes up for it. We hope you enjoyed the new update. Not at all. Alright, cool. So that's really just something cool about this mod, is that there's so much lore. Like, as kind of a meme is using that word is just a lot of stories in this mod for an already existing video game. Really cool. Alright, look at the factions first of all. So we've got the Reichspacht. Austria is not in a faction at the moment. And the Third International, got Northern Italy, France, England, and then we've got the remains of the Entente, which is which are the governments, I believe, that were installed, or like, well, France was a government that was installed by Germany? I don't know. At least 4 nations, yep. But I saw. But this is the communist one that sided with France. So, I mean, this is the remains of the governments that survived World War I. So this is the French Republic, and this is Britain. This versus the syndicalist guys. I've watched a good bit of videos about Kaiserreich. So let's just go ahead and look at our focuses first of all. Imperial restructuring. While it is undeniable, an undeniable fact that the German Empire is the greatest nation to ever grace the pages of history, there is also room for improvement. In light of recent shortcomings in our administration, we should look into making various policy changes and reforms for a better future. Alright, Eastern promises. Organize the youth. I like how they use the Protestant cross from EU4. That's a nice little touch. Institute the Vedekt Reichspolit. I'm not. Yeah. All right. Anyway, aftermath of Black Monday. State of the economy. Military expansion. Like, see, it's like these are things that kind of branch from the standard, hey, you upgrade a certain thingamajigger, you get faster tech research, one thing that's still in the lore. It's not just tech infrastructure 6 or whatever. Long-range fighters, cult of aviation. Even if it's just a tiny bit of lore. I'm not saying that that should be like the standard for Hearts of Iron mods. Not to rag on Great War mod, but it's just, it's a very small detail that's really cool. Treaty with Hawaii, that's funny. Oh yeah, good old little Hawaii. How you doing over there, bud? Is still under the yoke of the United States of America. Can't wait for you to make your great Pacific Empire. Treaty with Hawaii. Come on, Focus Treat, spoilers. Gosh. Alright. So yeah, okay. I read the first one there. Aftermath of Black Monday. Black Week has ended. The great stock market crash of 1936, widely known as Black Monday, has already had a massive crash. Has it not started yet? Has it not crashed yet? Because it's... I'm guessing it just hasn't crashed yet. Has already had a massive impact on German politics, culture, and society. While the damage might never be truly known. Okay, it happens in February. Cool. Thanks. Let alone fixed, we should enact reforms and recovery policies to regain some of our lost capacity. Did I? Making sure. Hold on. Did that. Okay, just making sure. Alright, space stability. We're not too unstable. State of the economy. It's good, really. The industry is humming along. Grain is coming in from the eastern member states of the Reichsbank. Many citizens have work. Many! Even many citizens have work. It looks, it's looking up for the Kaiserreich. It seems like nothing will be able to stop the golden age of the late Reichsbachler. Then we've got military expansion. With the death of Hans von Sicht and the retirement of August von Mackensen. God bless you, Mackensen, and your pirate hat! The chief of general staff has been embroiled in heated debate as to which military doctrine should be adopted. We should establish an imperial committee of military officers to oversee the adoption of a new doctrine. And then we've got Finnish 1934 Navy plan. Kaiserreich Marine stands unchallenged on any sea for now. The Union of Britain, the Commune of France, and the Americans and the Japanese all jealously seek to catch up with us, and if left unchecked, our naval domination will end as quickly as it began. We should continue the large Navy modernization project initiated back in 1934, keep our fleet one step ahead of our rivals. Alright, yeah, 1934 plan is your favorite. I don't know what Black Monday does precisely. Don't tell me. I'd like to see it for myself, at very least this first time. First, take a look at our details. Victors of the Weltkrieg. Ooh. Ooh. That's gross. Ooh. Quenched militarism. Ugh. Yeah, we're not declaring war anytime soon. Alright, yeah, that's we are the undisputed victors of the Weltkrieg, and our place in the sun all but guaranteed. Unfortunately, that was 20 years ago, and our arrogance may have got the better of us since then. Quenched militarism. Victory always comes at a cost, and the Weltkrieg was unlike any war the world had ever seen. while we may have been victorious, that didn't bring our boys home. Our families still remember that pain clearly, and are not eager to experience it again. Mittel Europa. We are the leader of Mittel Europa, an economic cooperation pact that helps us project power. Oh, I have a vassal in Vietnam. Alright. Imperial Pride, surrender limit plus 10%. German Empire rests at the very top of the world's pecking order, a place it has enjoyed since the end of the Weltkrieg. It would take a great deal for them to admit defeat in the coming war, though there are some who suggest that Germany's resilience is more brittle than it appears. Should the unthinkable happen and Berlin falls, or Germany loses control of many of its major cities, the nation would likely capitulate long before most of its territories is actually occupied. R. Legation cities dividends. The formation of the legation cities, nominally giving every nation equal access to the Chinese market, brought with it considerable profits for some countries and considerably less for others. Alright, who do we got in Vietnam? We got the Deutsch Ostasien. That looks like Michael Scott. Looks like wow, yeah. Is it seriously modeled? Oh man. Okay, that's hilarious. That's funny. The little details, you know? Not enough chins. Ah, good to see him. I'm just disappointed we don't have what do we got here? National Populist. We got the fascist Mao. My goodness. Not model for him, the guys. Oh, he's a real person. Alright, because I know that there are some generals that are specifically modeled after like dudes from the Yogscast. It's very complex. I know that much. Personally, the ideological thing is kind of weird. Just the mechanic itself. It seems to be in vanilla. It's very simplified, but it's almost a little too complex in Kaiserreich, from what I've seen. Alright, anyway, what do I want to do? Political power, and what am I really using political power for at the moment? Can't do that one. More political power. 10 ideologies. Yeah, I'll just take your word for it. I'll just do this one first. Let's see. You're Poland. Denmark. See, our military. Wow. These boys are regulars. We got some veterans. Dang. Got some seasoned, got some veterans. The standing army. Oh, sorry, dude. Alright, I'll just fire this up. Speed 4. Yeah, this army is massive. Look at all these boys. Let's take a look at our commanders. Like, they're going to need to change all these things. But they're going to need to do, like... I don't think it's the DLC. I think it's going to be in the patch that they change like deep water navies, like inland seas, stuff like that. Assassination of President Kerensky. Kerensky has been shot and killed while on the way to the Senate. The assailant was taken down by the police, but the goals and intentions of the attacker are unknown. Despite his massive unpopularity among the Russian people due to botched land reform and ineffective rule, Kerensky was nevertheless able to hold the country together for years, and his death has thrown Russia into chaos. Senators are already discussing a possible replacement to Kerensky. New coalitions are being formed both between the left and right, while military men like Denikin, Wrangel, and Kornilov are just one step away from intervening to dissolve democracy and save Mother Russia. How barbaric. Let's see. Now, right now we're, I am the Senate. Also, guy, all of these bros, independent. I think, is this a generic tree? Yeah, it looks like this one is generic. Does Georgia have a unique tree? Nah, these guys, a lot of the smaller ones still have generic dudes. Ottoman Empire. Watch out for Wrangel. Good to know. Alright, let's take a look. Like, you are... Right, Reichspakt. That's a Reichspakt, Empire's Pact. Why are you not an affection? What exactly is an authoritarian democracy? Authoritarian democracy is an ideology that combines a strong executive power with a representative parliament and a partial democratic political system. Authoritarian democratic regimes often take a conservative stance on social issues and promote liberal capitalist economies with limited state intervention. The aim of these regimes are to maintain national stability and provide people both a popular and responsible government. Hey, Turnip Beat, how's it going, dude? Can't Stalin become in charge of Georgia? So yeah, I forget what video I saw, but someone somehow got Georgia ruled by Stalin because he's Georgian. So this is like, I mean, we've got a parliament, but it's still like a monarchy. Market liberals see themselves as the mainstream liberal ideology. The main tenets of market liberalism are an unregulated free market and a democratic, plutocratic political system. Market liberals believe that the freer the market, the freer the people, and they will staunchly defend the political and economic rights of the individual. So, conservatives. On with Georgian. You are paternal autocrats. Paternal autocracy is not a political ideology in the normal sense of the word, but rather a general term for the attitude that these governments hold towards their citizens. The people are all subjects of the leader, either a monarch or a dictator, and it is the leader's job and duty to lead the state and society towards the righteous and best path while uniting the people under his benevolent protection. These countries usually have a very authoritarian government, conservative social views, and a state-controlled economy. Oh, they're the most liberal. Alright, let's see here. Right now, social liberals, Mexico, radical socialists. Eat. Look at this dude. Looks like a boss. Looks like the guy who just... I mean, social conservatives. Conservatism is a political ideology centered on the preserving traditional beliefs, attitudes, and philosophy, as well as the traditional power dynamic of society, while using the democratic system, opposed to both radical and moderate changes to the status quo Conservatives want to keep society in order and stable. Usually they promote a regulated market economy, but more liberal economic policies aren't unheard of. So like social, like market liberals are more like libertarians, I suppose. Like the freer the market, the freer the people. It's a very libertarian thing to say. Libertarian lean, I guess. So social conservatives, that's more like traditional values, quote unquote, people. What would we've got social liberals, libertarian democracy, social democrats. Hey, Haile Selassie, my boy. Oh man, Haile Selassie. You got a tree, right? Yes, you do. You know, a little nitpick. If I were to change this cross, I mean, right now this is the Eastern Orthodox cross from EU4. Change it to the Coptic one would be wise. Legacy of Ottawa. Man. No, I don't. Armenia might. Let's take what? Armenia does not. I've already looked at that. They've got their own generic Kaiserreich focus tree. A lot of room down here. A lot of space. Maybe it's because of my resolution, but interesting. Well, I mean, Ethiopian Orthodox. It's like, what's the definition of it? It's like, that may be what you would consider Coptic. Ethiopian Orthodox Patriarch. Spiritual head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church. Man, Amharic is the craziest alphabet. It's the largest Oriental Orthodox Church. It's not like it's in communion with like the Greek or Russian Orthodox. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church was administratively part of the Coptic Orthodox Church of Alexandria from the first half of the 4th century until 1959. So that's really recent for like church history. So there's a difference, but it's more of an administrative difference rather than like a belief. Okay, that's the picture for all the... I like the desert political belief. That is certainly economically and socially right-wing. Alright, anyway. Tangents. I'm just looking around like an idiot. Let's choose our tech. Alright, I think they mostly leave a lot of that. Like, some of these are all the same, but they add like a whole nother tree, don't they? Oh, hold on, they add like stuff down... Nope. Where's the thing? Yo, look at that fat looking tank. That's hilarious. And doctrine. Why don't you? They don't choose one for you. Probably because, I don't know, just for freedom's sake. I can imagine that a victorious Germany may not have gone down the sort of blitzkrieg strategy. Alright, these are cool. They're all new pictures for the boats. Naval doctrine. I'm not gonna bother with the doctrine quite yet, because those take forever. Go ahead and do the research time. That's a classic. Yeah, you You can choose them in the vanilla as well, but they choose some for you, so you have to kind of choose a different one to go away from, so it costs you a little more. Let's do construction and guess we'll do more light tanks. Let's get like all of our boys on a front line with France, because they're gonna get all syndicalisty on me. Yep, that's a lot of boys. Not as many as the Great War, but it's a lot of boys.
Achtung! Angetreten. Achtung! Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ihre Befehle?
Alright, let's take a look at our guys. Who do we got in charge here? Yo, Mackinson. We still got Rommel. I think most of these guys are new, aren't they? Like, I know Rommel is freaking Rommel, but I don't think these are like Nazi generals, from what I remember. No, I think this guy is, isn't he? You only get Rommel tanks. Yeah, the Manstein. He's also von Manstein. He was in vanilla. Let's see. Max entrenchment. We've only got one non-old guard guy. Have you? I mean, we're gonna focus everybody on. There's like, how many cav do we really need? Make an entire cav military.
Befehle. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Zuhören. Ihre Befehle. Angetreten. Befehle. Ihre Befehle.
Oh, Richtad. It was Nazi, National Populist. National Socialist, if we want to be technical. But yeah, I think... Is that what the name for the Nazis are? What like the fascists are in this? Yeah, National Populist. Sort of like economically centrist in a sense, but still hardcore authoritarian. Nope, not that. Yeah, just shove how many dudes into that? Front line here. Oh, we actually have access through... Okay, right. Good, good. Smart thinking, Germany. Social conservatives. Yep. Constitution of the German Kaiserreich. Ah. Eh. The pop-up, like, blocked that. There we go, but when I move it, it's kind of weird. Oh, okay. Constitution of German Kaiserreich. After the crushing defeat of the Second French Empire by forces of the North German Federation centuries ago, our constitution was signed in 1871 by representatives of the Federation and 4 other states in southern Germany. The new constitutional framework integrated the southern states in the Prussian-led Federation. Which one? Created or integrated? Please. Thus giving the enlarged entity a new identity as the Deutschreich. According to the Constitution, the Empire is a federation of 25 German states. The title of Bundespräsidium, or Federation President, was held by the King of Prussia, a figure now invested with the title of Emperor of Germany. The Emperor directly appointed the Chancellor, the head of government, and chairman of the Bundesrat, the Council of Representatives of the German states. Laws are enacted by both the Bundesrat and the Reichstag. The lower house Imperial Diet, elected by male Germans above the age of 25 years, with an option to dissolve the Reichstag on a whim. It is clear that the main political power of the German Empire actually rests not with Reichstag, elected by the people, but in the hands of the non-elected German Emperor. Another issue in the Prussian 3-class voting system, which has remained mostly unchanged since 1849. Over 60 years after the founding of the Kaiserreich, the liberals and social democrats are growing increasingly disgruntled with the status quo, and our constitution may need revision soon to help us weather the upcoming turbulence. Constitution guarantees stability, at least. Neato. Right, and all these boys, and I have all this here. Boltania, you are still under, or newly under the Ottomans, again. You know, this bugs me. Like, sharp. Like, you drew a line, couldn't you just, like, cut this little nubbin off? It bugs me. It means nothing, but it's like, it doesn't feel like a natural border. It's like, hey, there's a little bit of oil here. Boop, boop. I know. But this is anti-border gore brain of mine. What are you going down there? Congress, trade unions, direction of the economy, blah blah. America! They're going down the Navy. Can't wait till you have your Civil War. You haven't chosen anything yet there. Candatica? Oh wow, I am out of manpower. I just realized that. French Republic, restore the French Empire. Russia's looking... You don't have a focus yet either. You're not choosing one? Wow. Wow, they have a lot of choices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's like 3 short of every single ideology. Democratic Republic, Republic of Aristocrats, Crown Demetrius. Did I miscount? That. What's this lead to? 7 plus restore commies. Okay, so this is separate from this. So don't even elect and just outright restore this. Gotcha. So this actually doesn't... They haven't actually added this yet, I'm guessing. It'd be interesting to see the differences they do between the vanilla tree. Because, I mean, it'd just be like a later communist uprising. Kimia. Algemeen. Generic. Wait, are you serious? Like they actually... Like it's actually hidden? Huh. Alright, I should be building things. What am I doing? Let's see. But you can just make another one of those. The entire focus tree changes. Okay. I feel like that shouldn't... Oh, whatever. The little nubbin. Like, where's it going? What's it doing? Entirely different focus tree. That's interesting. Alright, let's... We're not building any boats. Make some, These look very modern. They look really shiny and, like, nothing that would be made for, like, another 50 years. Super heavy dreadnought. That sounds sexy. Kaiser Wilhelm class. Named after Good Poppy. I know, I mean, that's what they look like, but it's just like... It's so bright. It's not like a dark metal. It looks like a brighter metal, like it's got some kind of... I don't know. I don't know what it would... How it would be different. Get, like, one of those guys. One of those guys. It's like a bunch of everything, mostly. More fast battleships. I'll give more boats, more things to all of them. Interwar carrier. Let's see. Things are brighter in Imperial Germany. Oh, never actually held down shift. Doing that before. Alright. Oil. Iron Guard Romania. Actually get more from Azerbaijan. Let's get some from our good friends, the Ottoman Empire. Nothing could possibly go wrong with those resources. The Totalist Charter. Mussolini, Valois, Beria, and other interested parties arrived in Birmingham today to discuss their common ground. It has been agreed that Maximism, Sorelianism, and National Syndicalism all share basic principles of the state's primacy in the socialist struggle, the role of national identity within the state, and the importance of a strong central authority to preserve and build socialism. Charter also claims that the socialist state is a final stage of human development, and that democracy is not necessary to achieve socialism. Yeah, national syndicalism. These statements have drawn great criticism from other socialist factions who gave it the name totalism as a play on totalitarian socialism, which has been eagerly accepted by Mosley and added it to the manifesto's name, attributing to their local commitment to socialism. People must reject this madness. That's like... so dusty. Yeah, cough, cough. I like your hat. What are you doing? Yeah, boom. Crazy Stalinism. So, okay. Wait, what? Snowden. Wow, they've got a whole freaking... They've got like a whole biography for this dude. Mild-mannered Viscount almost shouldn't have been the chairman of the British Trade Union Congress, yet somehow he is. And he is well liked by the factions of what is a viciously factional body. Snowden's victory is largely credited to his decision to avoid the fractional politics of the Trade Union Congress, and how he showed himself to be an unaligned and neutral candidate, free of partiality. Since his assuming of the title of chairman, Snowden has seen old faces go and new faces come to the TUC. But he has always remained a symbol of British post-revolutionary unity, always calming factional tensions wherever they come, and seeking to maintain a balance between all four factions, which is perhaps why he unopposed Mosley's bid for exchequer. The former liberal turned syndicalist is perhaps the most normal figure in these strange times, always staying above and refusing to occupy his time with petty insults. As the 1936 Congress of Trade Unions approaches, Snowden has given many hints to his possible retirement, an uncomfortable reality to say the least. Jeez. It's cool that there are a lot of female characters as well. I can see Annie Kenny, elected as a chairwoman. I dig it. I dig it. Evolution. That's kind of interesting. Like, yeah. Evolution, revolution, evolution. Now that's just nice looking. Now that's some good art there. Just good wheat. The red. Women's Flying Corps. Cool. Britain within the Internationale. Norway, show of force, words are war. Nito Bandito. American comrades, Mexican comrades. Australasian comrades. Comrades, always with the comrades. Full suffrage. Yeah. Social Democrats, Authoritarian Democrats. What is this one? Eternal Autocrats. Democracy for Prussia. Women's suffrage. Neat. Term promises. Okay. So these are essentially like democratization of sorts. Yeah, I mean, this is a democratization. It's just whether, like, how democratic you want to go. Like, if you want to stick with the path you've got, like, you're still authoritarian Democrat, but it's still like the Democrat, and this is like actual liberal democracy. Neat. And this is hardcore. Like, full-on power to the Kaiser. A European Union sort of thing versus a European domination thing. I were to wager. Pan-European. Alright. Yeah, there's so much stuff. Former Venezuela. Former Mesopotamia. The Ottomans can't fall. I kind of wish there were more longer mutually exclusive trees as opposed to just like mutually exclusive and then one more part. Mutually exclusive, like kind of come back together, kind of down this. They'll come back together on that, you know. But I don't know. That's just a different way of doing things. Man. Yeah, to me, the most interesting thing about this game is playing with the focus trees. Okay, so I guess it's just Germany that's kind of like this. Alright. Like, what you got? Matters of the state. I'm an army, and crazy stuff. Ottoman Caliph, neat. So this is a very wide one, not very tall. Like this, it's not really not very deep. It's very wide. Interesting. Alright. Anyway. Does Greece have a unique tree? They do. Look at that dude's eyebrows. Look at the dude's chin. He looks too happy to be here. Yeah, I'm just kind of screwing around. Alright, it's got a bunch of dudes just kind of littered around everywhere. You can just hang out, that's cool. Yeah, sorry. I mean, this is just, there's a lot of stuff here. Also, it's... Yeah. Speed this up. Alright. Edward the VIII, crowned King of Britain. George V, the last King of Great Britain and Ireland, who have ruled the home islands themselves, has passed away in exile in Canada. The first Windsor king, his reign shall be remembered with sorrow and sadness, as during it, Britain lost both the Weltkrieg and its homeland. The crown was inherited by Edward, Prince of Wales, who now styles himself as Edward VIII. King Edward is a vengeful and ambitious man, and not on good terms with Prime Minister Mackenzie King. He lives on the goal of avenging his father and reconquering the British Isles, and thus is quite popular among British exiles in Canada, among others. Interesting. King's speech. That's where you can choose, or it just goes down a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I should just keep the timeline going. I'm just kind of waiting for stuff to happen. Payment of Brest-Litovsk reparations. With stagnation of our economy and worsening conditions of our citizens during 1935, our government has decided that in order to restart our economy, we need additional cash. Only available option to amass sufficient capital to help our economy was to force the Russian state to prematurely repay the remaining reparations from the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. During the Berlin Conference in November 1935, President Alexander Kerensky together with Prime Minister Pavel Milyukov, were forced to accept the premature payment of the Brest-Litovsk reparations. With drastic austerity measures, the Russian government was able to prematurely repay the remaining parts of its reparations as they were agreed in treaty. Yeah. Cool. Alright, here comes the crash. Pretty soon. As he said. In February.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
There it is. Deal with this first. On the 3rd of February, 1936, the Berlin Stock Exchange stopped sinking. It stopped sinking. It plunged. Fueled by the instability of the market panic, selling erupted as soon as the stock market opened on Monday morning. It took well into the night for the teleprinters to stop sputtering out, the results of which became known as Black Monday. When the results had been analyzed, it was clear that the situation had only got worse. The shock of this unprecedented economic catastrophe will no doubt be felt over the entire world. The German Golden Age has ended, for now at least. Mein Gott! Och nein! Okay. Communard France shows its true face. The Reds are clearly set to spread their poison as they have demonstrably shown during the last session of the elections. We must be prepared for anything. We must be ready. Thanks for the manpower, bros. Alright. Those. Somebody else? What are you doing? Evil propaganda. The Kaiserreich Marine stands as the strongest navy in the world in the year 1936, but many challenges will face it in the coming years. The expansionist empire of Japan and resurgent syndicalist fleets of Britain and France are both key future enemies seeking to unseat German naval superiority across the world. In 1934, we started a major naval construction plan, and many of the ships laid down in the period are well on their way to being finished. Unfortunately, with our naval industry limited due to ongoing economic malaise, we will have to limit ourselves to one area of production. The question is, what should we focus on during the next 6 months? Okay, you get the same thing. Benefits. Let's just do, what are we making the most of right now? We're making like one of everything. How many of everything are we making? Alright, we've got cruiser, submarine, cruiser, battleship. Guessing that's a battleship. Carrier. Let's do battleship. Alright, what do we... After Black Monday. Black Week has ended, so we need to wait a couple days for this one. I'll just do another one first of all. Let's go ahead and do this one to give us space stability, sort of offset that one a little bit. Or whichever one we want to do, really. Approach Poland. Let's go and do this guy. Institute the Verdecht Reichspolizei. Syndicalist terror is nearly as bad as back in 1938 when Reichsbank President Karl von Helfrich was shot by a lone gunman. Back then, a countrywide crackdown brought some measure of peace, but now security forces seem powerless. Oh, I can't even start this one. Oh, I haven't even done imperial restructuring. I'm dumb. With while it is undeniable the fact that German Empire is a great... Yeah, we've done that one. Let's start that one up. No profits from the legation cities. Following the 1936 German invasion of China and the Treaty of Nanjing, signed in November of that year, foreign trade was left to the richest cities of the coast, under the joint control of world powers owning interest in China. The independence of this consortium of cities was guaranteed by 8 powers: Australasia, Austria, Canada, Germany, Japan, the French Republic, Russia, and the USA. Foreign investments and the legation cities themselves flourished not only through foreign trade, but also thanks to smuggling into Ostasian and Qing imperial territories. However, while we are officially part of the Legation Cities Council, we have been unable to gain access to the dividends it should entitle to us. That is a shame. Something should be done about that. Oh, wow. Alright, yeah, this, from what I hear, is the, like, single inevitable thing to actually happen in Kaiserreich. Afghanistan declaring on the Dominion of India, which normally, in a sane world, would be the stupidest thing of any Afghanistan to ever do. Where we're on India. Electoral gridlock in France. The Commune of France is the world's leading syndicalist nation, united by a federation of city communes and directed by Comité de Salut Public. Yeah, Afghanistan and Kerensky's assassination. Ever since, the chief executive. Ever since the inception, however, factions arose, each one with their own idea of which path France should take. As the time for revenge against Germany and the World Revolution closes in, the CGT election of 1936 is set to be very important. It was so important, in fact, that none of the 4 factions could acquire a majority. Much like before the election, a coalition must be found. But how will this change the shape of the commune's politics? Only the men in the CSP itself know. Interesting. Run on the banks. German citizens, panicked by the collapse of the Berlin stock market, are rushing to make bank runs to withdraw their assets. The banks cannot afford to give out such sums, and many are in danger of collapse. Many are clamoring for immediate government intervention to stabilize this unprecedented financial collapse. Oof. I think the best thing to do would be to guarantee the holdings of private individuals. Lowers the stability cost, but spending the political power, I know it's kind of hard to get, but I mean, we are making political power, unlike some other countries. Yeah. Who needs political power? I mean, it's whatever. Come on. Save that stability. We're not super instable. The 5th Anglo-Afghani War. After the Weltkrieg, as the British Raj collapsed into turmoil and warfare, the neighboring kingdom of Afghanistan took advantage of this as an opportunity to seize Peshawar and Quetta, both border regions of the Dominion. However, the Afghani government's attempt to modernize over the last decades have been met with fierce resistance from the conservative elements within the country. You could say everything about Afghanistan is met with resistance by the conservative elements within the country. King Amanullah Khan now hopes to use the turmoil in Delhi following the death of George V to his advantage by repeating the success of the 4th Anglo-Afghan War. The king hopes to silence this conservative opposition and bring new lands to the crown. However, international experts do not put many hopes in a tiny mountain nation winning this conflict. Who cares about Afghanistan? I know, right? Oh, a civilian factory. I should have been doing stuff with that. Gross. Civilian factories. Might as well be upgrading these. Oop. Right, yeah. Let's just do that. It's gonna take forever to build those anyway. Let's see if we can at least get a war going. I've just been spending so much time doing nothing. I don't know. Maybe it'll just be like a quick look at Kaiserreich. The situation hardly improved in the days following Black Monday, which was the start of what became known as Black Week. Panic selling of stocks reached an all-time high as people tried to dump their stocks before they became worthless. When the Berlin Stock Exchange closed at the end of the week, market was as dead as the 11 major economic experts and top executives in Germany had committed suicide. Wow! The German government had to act. We must reform the economy. Hey, get some stability. How about that? Alright, here we go. Polish monopolies crash. In the wake of Black Monday, some of our corporate interests in Poland have gone bankrupt. We have now received news that the Polish government, ever irritated at our economic interests in their country, have moved to seize our corporate assets in their country, effectively removing our control over their economy. This is a disaster. We won't forget this. Freaking Poles. Financial troubles in the colonies, rising inflation, and a consequently debased Reichsmark means the state expenses of German colonies have become too great to maintain pre-Black Monday tax codes. Some maverick politicians propose raising taxes, but raising taxes on German nationals just to aid German colonials would obviously not be popular, especially not under the present economic situation. Most of the Reichstag merely proposes limited financial support for our colonial possessions. What should we do? That doesn't really seem that wise. I don't care about their opinion either, really. Fair expenses only for the colonies under our direct control. Oof. Tighten our belts. They'll have to find other sources of income. It's the stability and the political cost is the thing. I think I'll go for the middle ground. Spare expenses only in colonies under our direct control. Regency Council. You've got your own tree. The Habsburg Terror. With the devastating economic situation, many families struggle to earn their daily bread, and the social security net is strained to the breaking point. In recent weeks, the streets of many German cities have been increasingly terrorized by gangs of teenagers. These Halbstark steal products from the markets and shops, and often money from innocent pedestrians, or commit acts of vandalism to escape boredom and frustration. Yeah, kids these days. I'll show them. I'll throw them all into the military and have them go fight some Cindy's. These Halberstocks, and often money from innocent pedestrians, commit acts of vandalism, escape boredom and frustration. Few citizens feel safe on the streets anymore, and it is clear that what some of the government might see merely as low-level civic disorder, instead as the makings of social societal breakdown. Mein Gott, how shocking. Who needs stability? I mean, hey. Come on. You know. Join the military. We'll put you all to good work. Agricultural crisis in Mittel Europa. During this time of great crisis, the complacent agricultural sector of German economy has proved to be particularly vulnerable to the economic downturn. With this in mind, several Junkers, representing the landed nobility of the Kingdom of Prussia, have asked for protectionist legislation and state subsidies for their agricultural production. By imposing tariffs on foreign produce, we will strengthen this vital sector and the Reich economy and protect our farmers. Unfortunately, such a measure is likely to cause further damage to the economy of our neighbors, dependent as they are on German markets for their food exports. The wheat crop in the Ukraine is particularly vulnerable, and choosing to enact protectionist measures might seriously damage them and our other agrarian partners. Oh, we must protect our own peasants. If we have to do anything, our military is prepared for it. Get some of those hooligans and throw them into the trenches. Let them fight for king and country. Kaiser and Reich. Okay. That's interesting. Hey, sorry guys. Riyadh. Don't have the rest of them. Alright, here we go. Geez, so many things. Yellow seizes control of Ecuador, seemingly unwilling to stand by and watch as the relatively liberal government under Ayora's EORE risks enfeebling Ecuador. Alberto Enriquez Gallo has launched a successful putsch in Quito. Got him right in the pooch! Having already dissolved the administration and created a new council of military advisors, the new military strongman has quickly began embarking on a quest to purify Ecuador of alleged threats and opponents. Though the nation has recently been viewed positively as a friendly business environment for foreign investors, whether that state of affairs will be preserved by the new regime is unknown. It seems the Quito's liberalism just couldn't last. The Kenyatta Solf affair, an unusual case, has reached the highest court in the German state. Anti-colonial activist Jomo Kenyatta has brought a class action lawsuit against former Afrikaan Stadtholder Wilhelm Solf. This case has become something of an embarrassment, as some of the plaintiffs are veterans of the Weltkrieg. It cannot be easily dismissed. They claim that Solf's administration harmed them through policies of illegal land seizures and even abductions and torture, all done by Solf's knowledge and little legal basis. Quietly, the Foreign Office has explained to the government that such things are uncommon and necessary in our colonial administrations. So that's in the... they strongly urge we quash this motion. What's the worst that could happen? Hermann Göring. Oh. Restoration of democracy in Australasia. The Australasian Confederation has been under the authoritarian rule of Governor General William Birdwood since the British invocation of the emergency protocols in 1924, considered by many in the nation to have been a heavy-handed response to the Melbourne common syndicalist uprising. Birdwood finally relented to calls for an open election, leading to the expected result of Stanley Bruce's United Australasian Party achieving a majority government in the Canberra Parliament. Bruce is expected to have a tough time ahead of him, with labor unrest on the rise and calls for the revocation of Birdwood's more egregious restrictions on personal liberty. Interesting. Okay, So, nothing happened? Huh. Alright, an interesting little skirmish. Oh, no, hold on, they lost land. Didn't they have more land over here? I believe they did. So now they're back to regular Afghanistan. Alright. Now, Islu Tingo. Thanks for joining me, dude. Oh, is it? Huh. That'd be funny. Alright, might as well go for the aftermath of Black Monday. A great stock market crash in 1936, widely known as Black Monday, has already had a massive impact on Germany. Blah, 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 blah. I've read this before. Do it! Yeah. That's partly the reason why I'm only like 3 months in, and partly because I just kind of looked around forever. French loyalists restore monarchy. After a brief French Civil War, the old government of France and its supporters fled to North Africa to escape syndicalist wrath. There, the nation eventually devolved into a military junta under the Lion of Verdun, Philippe Pétain. Ugh. However, a big question arose in this defeated nation. What should its future be? Retaking France is the priority, yes, but what should be the government? It appears that the French have answered the question themselves through, though, as the national French state has accepted an agreement to restore the monarchy in France. Will it change anything? Authoritarian Democrat. Want a party? Napoleon the Fourth. Because, I mean, the other Napoleons worked out alright. Right? Nothing could ever go wrong with a Napoleon. The third. The Free Arbeiter Union Deutschlands, or Free Workers Union of Germany, is an umbrella organization of several trade unions founded during the turbulent period in 1919, during the French Revolution. They have repeatedly denounced the syndicalist terror and therefore been allowed to operate unimpeded until now. However, our intelligence services have produced definite proof that their leaders are in contact with syndicalist organizations in other nations, such as the CNTFAI, Spain. We also suspect that some members may be directly plotting against the Kaiser. Always exciting when a Napoleon is in charge of France. Yeah. Alright, we need to get rid of these guys. Jail the leaders and ban the party. Force them underground. A lot of political power, but we don't want to have to deal with that nonsense. Louis Napoleon IV de Bonaparte is the symbol of a France renewed, or regressed. Crowned in the Notre Dame d'Afrique, with the same grandiosity as the first Napoleon in Paris, he represents the ambition of the restoration of France's old glory, like his ancestor at Austerlitz. Austerlitz? Austerlitz? Austerlitz. Something like that. I try to get my German pronunciation down. Louis Napoleon endeavors to strike a deadly blow to the heart of France's enemies. Dude, let's party. We can authoritarian democratize the whole world. You and me, buddy. France and Germany. Historic acquaintances. First International Congress. Delegates from socialist nations and political movements around the world gathered in Paris today for the latest in a series of world congresses, while the mantle of the Third Internationale was taken up by the Communards after the Russian Civil War. The ideological tenor of the event promises to be very different, with syndicalist parties being the newly dominant force of the far left. Delegates were greeted by a military parade, an exhibition of avant-garde art, and finally a speech by the chairman of the CSP. At the top of the agenda is the spread of the revolution in Asia and North America, ongoing conflict in Spain, policy on colonialism, and the requirements for membership of the Third Internationale's military alliance. An interesting development. I feel like you gotta have something a little bit more to say than interesting. We'll go with freaking evil because they're bad Reds. We don't like them. Syndicalists' first move. The Reds are meeting to coordinate their activities, which are definitely aimed against the order we have established in Europe following our victory in Weltkrieg. We must watch this meeting and analyze its results closely. Watch them. Keep an eye on them. Cool. Man, they really put a lot of cities on this map. A lot more than vanilla, I believe. Like, I don't think that one's there. The death of Pius IX. All Christendom mourns the death of His Holiness Pope Pius IX. Or maybe all of Catholicism. Like, why would a Protestant care about the death of a Pope? Other than, you know, a Pope dying, dude, like, at this period, there was still some tension between Protestants and Catholics. Like, not as much as, like, century before, but century and a half before. But still, it's like these days when the Pope dies, all of Christendom is kind of upset. All right. Yeah, at this point, especially in Germany, like, If the Pope died in real life, real life 1936, the Protestants would be happy. It was tension. Died following a heart attack after having been in declining health for the past several years. Something which repeatedly worsened following Black Monday. The Pope, severely worried about the economy, his stocks just fell off. His portfolio was in flames. How much money did the Pope lose? All of it. The Holy Father will soon be interred with the rest of his predecessors in the tomb of the popes. Until the next pope can be chosen, the papal state will be ruled by the College of Cardinals in Rome. Succession of His Holiness is made all the more important due to the Catholic Church's role in governing the reborn nation, as well as the vehement opposition to the syndicalists, a force which has divided the north of Italy along the River Po and seeks to once again reunify the Italian peninsula. How? I don't care. Then China first, huh? Let's take a look here. Like, what's your dealio? Who are your choices here? Stephen, kill him and all. Let God sort it out. The 10th, Julius Deus fucking Volt the 4th. Let's see. I got Julius. You are. Help those in need. Help displaced families. Call the people. I don't know. That sounds pretty chill. John the 23rd. Welfare program. Christian trade unions. Economic incentives. That all sounds pretty chill too. Pius the 12th. Promote traditional values. Patron of Rome. Fight corruption. Or Julius the 4th. Promote order. Call to the faithful. Holy war. Neat. The Senate of the Kingdom of Rome. Interesting. Reform temporal power. Yeah, pray and chill. That's a good way to sum up my life. In the best of times. There were seriously like 9 Pope Stevens before? There have been a lot of popes, I guess. Longest temporal power, the people's rule. Alright, so we've got like social, like more like social democrats. No, these are more like social democrats. These are more like liberal democrats. Then we got social conservatives and like patriarchal, whatever it is. 15 Benedicts. Okay, it's tall. Man, but I want to make the Empire. Well, I want to play as the Pope in World War II. It's just such a neat thing. Anyway, I'll probably just be looking through this for a little bit while longer. I'm probably not even gonna be able to get to wars. Is there even like a declare war focus? Oh, hold on there. What's this? Are these guys? Why aren't these guys not my boys? Like, I mean, they got a big old German name. Why aren't they my puppet? that part of the lore that I just haven't heard yet? You see, you found the gold. Yeah. If your name is German, you're gonna be under me. And I will make everyone's name German. Especially the Germans. Did they not say? Like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, there wasn't really that much going on in China in the First World War. Like, France still has this. Actually, no, this is part of that thing. Portugal still has this. But, yeah. Like, why? German intervention in 1926. Okay. I guess that's what... And then how... They made this and they're independent? Board of Directors. Michael Scott's fun to play as. Yeah, and they don't have a unique tree or anything either. They're just kind of here. What does this mean also? Like... Ostasian Gesellschaft? I'm guessing that's East Asian. I don't know what that means, or what that is. AOG. Yeah, well, whatever. But yeah, I guess we'll just call this a quick look at Kaiserreich. Corporate interest zone. Yeah, that's true, but why is it independent? It's like the Dutch East Indies, British Raj, those are all puppets. Vanilla, at least. Like, even here, Dutch East Indies, still a puppet of the Netherlands. Alright, what you got here? Communard France shows a true face. The Reds are clearly... Alright, just free manpower. Dankeschön. Come on, you can do it. Show the Saudis who's boss. Okay. Guess, I mean, that's still... Isn't that essentially what the Dutch East Indies and the British Indies were, though? Like, I mean, I can't help them. You'd think that if I had economic stuff here, I would have an alliance. Even if it is just, like, put a band-aid on it, I don't know. Alright. I like the idea of getting Poland in my faction. And I don't like the idea of selling Cylon. Is that how it's pronounced? Like the robots from Battlestar Galactica? I mean, what does this give me, really? It just makes... Oh no, I buy it. Or that's what it is. Which one is this? Ceylon. Okay. Despite its natural resources as a result... I didn't even look at it. Do I own that? I do own that. Directly mine. Despite its natural resources as a result of administrative inefficiencies, the island of Ceylon is a very unprofitable part of our colonial empire, requiring massive investment every year. However, there has been a proposal of selling the island to the Princely Federation. Undoubtedly a profitable idea. And then putting it that way, that actually does sound a bit better. Approach Poland. With the economy slowly finding its track again, the time has maybe come to finally improve our economic times with Poland. There has been some enthusiasm about the proposal in some circles. The Zentrum politician Heinrich von Brentano, in particular, has been a leading proponent of the idea. You know, I can get behind that. And this leads down like a whole nother path. Deepen Polish ties. I feel like I'd like to do this one if I played more towards the liberal end, where the super powerful Kaiser dude. I'd rather keep the land even if it's crappy, and then have Poland as my little buddy. Is Poland of course anywhere in like Belarusia? No, like this is just. This is just Poland proper. I'm kind of curious, like modern Poland is essentially this part of Germany. What's that? Then we've got Belarus and we've got Ukraine. I think Belarus in real life has like more of that northern part. It's like, how Polish are like the northern and western regions of Poland, considering that for a very, very long time, this was all Germany. Had German conquered Polish land? No, I mean, this belonged to the Knights, like the Teutonic Order, before they joined up with Brandenburg. And I'm pretty sure this part as well. This stuff, I'm not as certain about. I think this was, it's like Silesia. So that was kind of more closely related to Bohemia. Like all this, I'm pretty sure was very German. Like, how German is it to this day? What is Australasia or India? A lot of political mess. Oh, look at him! He's so happy. He's like, "Hey, I'm democratic. Look at me." So this is a totally different focus tree than before, isn't it? Like they just changed focus trees. That's kind of a neat way to do it. A lot of name changing. Yeah. A whole new Australasia. Dazzling place with murderous spiders. I kind of like Little Poland. It's cute. Alright, these guys are in my line. You are in my faction, but you're not in my. You're not a puppet. You are a puppet. How many Austria-related focuses are there in here? I don't think there are many, from what I've seen. Wait, no, hold on, here we are. Time to set aside our differences with the Austrian Kaiser. By calling a so-called Kaiser Summit, we will be able to finally rid our two great nations of the tensions of past years and begin a new partnership. Oh, there's a mod for. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely do that whenever I get around to playing this, like, proper. Social Democrats, really? Social Democrats. Nonsense. I guess they're choosing Social Democrats versus conservatives. They're not going paternal autocracy? Come on, Austria. Get with it. We won the war. You don't need to kowtow to any of those Democrats or liberals or social conservatives. Whatever, man. Stick to your guns. Cool. Alright. Status quo, race pluralism, military occupation. That's what I like to see. So you can just skip by all this Democrat nonsense and just go straight for the strengthening of the Kaiser. That's what I like to see. That's kind of neat, is that they have two branches for like two different choices of democracy. And that, or you could, hold on, is this, you could go, but you can go down this and then go to this, or you could just skip past these entirely. That's kind of neat. Alright, so I think I'm gonna call it here. This was just a quick look at Kaiserreich. I'll definitely play through this proper one of these days, but not until the DLC is out. I've probably played through at least 2 campaigns with the new DLC. I'll eventually get into Kaiserreich. If you're new, glad to have you to follow the channel. Love to see everybody again. But I'm not done streaming quite yet. I would like to take a quick break, and I'm just gonna play some Plants vs. Zombies. Just chill out for a little bit. Hey, Super Cheese. I saw you just got here, but I'm actually gonna be heading out. I will play Kaiserreich eventually in the future, and just play EU4, Void 4, Crusade. I'm gonna be playing a lot of Crusader Kings. Tomorrow will be my last finishing up a campaign before the new DLC comes out. Gonna be really looking forward to that. Anyway, just Rand's a Republic? Oh, they chose Republic stuff instead of little baby what's his nuts. Keeping the tiny emperor alive. There's a lot of cool alternatives that just happen that you don't even get notifications for. Look at this guy. So weird. He does not look Mongolian to me. Looks super white. That's probably because he's like a white Russian or something. Mad Baron, Russian Civil War. Okay, that would explain it. Got your own tree. The Russians aren't watching. Breathes heavily. Baltic German. Okay. Cool. So yeah. Hope to see all you folks again. Alash Orda. That's just such a cool name. Alash Orda. Too bad it's generic. One of these days I will have my order. What is my order? What is the order? Okay. So I'm gonna be taking a break, and I'll be back just to chill for in the evening, play some Plants vs. Zombies. Let's get that screen up. Alright. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Later, dudes, if you're leaving. Or you can just stay. It'll be fun. Hang out. Just chill. Plants for kill some zombies.